Hey, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, August 20th. Fresh new week for the Plant-Based Morning Show. We don't start till Tuesdays around here, and we end on Thursdays, which is nice. And this week, we end a little earlier than that because I travel on Thursday up to golf. So just Tuesday and Wednesday this week. But it'll be a good
we're
one.
out next week. Have we announced that to the good people? I can't remember.
Next week will be an off week for the Plant-Based Morning Show because of a team reunion. I think we hinted at it. We didn't give the details. So there are your details.
There you go.
No shows for the whole week. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We've come to expect this Plant-Based Morning Show in summertime. Both parents got kids. It's time to do family stuff.
Yep.
You can't let a morning show
work stuff.
run your
But
life.
you know what? School starts tomorrow for my kids, or for one of my kids.
Wow, it's good. Late.
Yeah.
I mean, it's how it should be, I think. But we started so much earlier. I think mine are like 2 weeks in now.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and I talked to someone yesterday who was a week before that even. Not a different South Carolina district. It was like August 1st or 2nd they started. Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, you have a good weekend, Doug? Anything fun?
I had a great weekend. Got to hang out with some teammates, compliment teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And got to hang out with Carly Bodrug from Plant U.
Right, Plant Palooza. That was all weekend long.
Plant Stock. Yep.
Plant Stock. Sorry.
Was all weekend long, and Carly was there. Doug Evans was there. Dr. Will B was there. Got to hang out with all those people. Really had a really nice time with Carly and her husband one afternoon during some free time, and it was great.
How is Carly in the flesh? Like, she's just larger than life now. She's like a superstar. Did it seem like she just had an aura of celebrity to her? Like she's just learned that or born with that?
We were in the gym. They had been shooting basketball. Everybody was sweaty. Everybody was, just not, there was, she was just one of us. It was just nice to see that she could be one of us.
Put your pants on one leg at a time. Just like
but on night one, when everybody was like in the auditorium, they were kind of announcing some of those speakers and stuff like that. And Rip Esselstyn, who, this is a Plant Strong event. This is his event.
Right.
Said that she was going to be there and asked if she was here yet, and she raised her hand. She was sitting in the back, and then within seconds, people were getting selfies with her.
Yeah,
it was like a kind of a moment, which was fun to see. It was cool.
Definitely, yeah. Rich Roll had that vibe that I noticed at some point. He didn't at first when you and I kind of hung out with him. Mm-hmm. He was new. He was like us, and just he is a more accomplished athlete, obviously, but had his platform. I think it was smaller than ours at the time. And like a couple years later, I was at an event where I was speaking and he was like a keynote speaker, and it was just different. Like he just had like a different aura where like he couldn't really walk anywhere without people just, getting him and slowing him down. Just different, ascended to a different level. So that's cool. Good for her. That's exciting.
Yeah. I got to play pickleball with Rip, against Rip, not with Rip.
Who won?
Oh man.
Right.
that guy takes his pickleball seriously.
Yeah, I think he probably takes everything seriously.
and there was no letting up on me as it was a strategic look as partner. Whispered a few things, realizing that I was the weaker of I was partnered with Adam, who's one of our teammates, and also a well-known vegan.
Yep.
But he's a good pickleball player, and it was clear within like 2 volleys that I was the weaker player, and Rip and his partner kind of whispered something to each other, and they just started pelting all the balls at me. It's like, so it was fun. It was fun nonetheless.
Good. That's nice. Good. Glad to hear it. All right, cool. Well, good morning to people who have checked in here. Brandon Turner, Carmen, Britters, KDC, Steven's here again. Steven's got a nice little streak he's putting together.
Yeah.
Also he sent me a text one day. I was too much entertaining Garuda Legends' sort of crazy ideas. They're not crazy, but I don't think. But wild claims sometimes, like the one that there's literally no science saying beans are healthy. And I was looking it up, and Steven texted me. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you texting, or why you're Googling if beans are healthy? Like, come on, like we don't need to give this much credit to someone who has these different opinions." But what I was doing, you make a wacky claim like there's no science. I'm trying to refute that claim. I'm looking up to see could there literally be no science showing that? And of course, right away we found that there was. Anyway, moving on beyond Stephen, Leslie Knight Britters, whose school started in July for her in she in Arizona, is that right? Anne-Marie Nurse Otto says, Grand Rising, y'all, I never get to see you live. So here is Nurse Otto. Welcome, Nurse Otto, which is what Stephen says, and we say it as well. And D1 to Know Adventure Coach, who's also a very consistent attendee. We had someone who was new for the first time last week, and I missed the comment until I saw it later at the end of the show. And I don't remember their names. I wish we could have shouted them out. But if you're listening today, you're welcome. Please comment again.
I believe Nurse Otto is a contributor in the Discord, so it's nice to have you here live. And
okay.
And I gotta say that we have another potential listener right now. So watch what you say. Not watch what you say. No, I don't mean that. PETA. Last time we covered one of PETA's articles.
Yep.
About the ballpark, and then they emailed us and they thanked us for covering it, and we weren't particularly nice, I don't think, about the structure of the
right. No, but I think we agreed with the substance of the article. I liked how they worked in some some vegan hooks to kind of get you if you had found the ballpark list via something else. But we joked about their sort of copywriting. They didn't do some of the basic copywriting you would do to make something a little more readable, more likely to spread. Anyway. Speaking of comments and people watching, I got something about Oatly to tell you about. Not that they're watching our show, but
okay, let's hear it.
But the other thing about that related, there's some comments on YouTube that we just haven't really been up on or responded to. But someone, Michelle Novak, and I'm guessing a lot of people have this problem. She said she listens to the replays all the time. She was going to join the Discord group, but can't figure out how to do it. Are there any special instructions, or you just need to have that one exact link? Is that what it is, or what was it?
Yeah, it's just nomadathlete.com/Discord.
Okay. Yeah, you go to that, and then that should redirect you, and then you should be all good. I don't know if you have specific problems with getting in, let us know, and we'll help you. But yeah, Discord is a little bit. It's like a gamer's platform. It's not really meant for. Well, I mean, it's just a weird thing. It's not. They didn't design it for mainstream out of the gamer community use, so it's not the most user friendly thing. But it's a good community management tool. Anyway. And then Jeff Hudnall said Link to the Past might just be the best video game ever, because I had mentioned that. I was playing that, and he also said he missed the show when we were gone for a week. So sorry, Jeff, we'll be gone for another week soon. But anyway, thanks for the comments. Here's my Oatly thing. I 2 or 3 days ago wanted to make a nice meal. So I opened up my Mario Batali cookbook, and there's a recipe in there called sausage with weeds, which I have never made before. I've always looked at it. But I figured now that the plant-based sausage is good enough, it might be worth trying this recipe. And it's like it looks like old phone cords, those curly phone cords. That's like the type of pasta, which I couldn't find, unfortunately, on this day that I made it. But anyway, it calls for whole milk, and I wanted to find something that was good and creamy and would be a good substitute. And I found that oat milk or Oatly has this one called full fat oat milk. And I guess it's just a sort of a standard thing, except they don't remove the fat. I don't really know. But it had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 more grams of fat per serving. So I got it and it worked out great, which I was not surprised because the Oatly stuff is good. They're creamy. The oat milk is always sort of creamier to me than others. So I like it. But the side of the box had this thing on it that I thought was funny. I took a picture of it. It says a quote, and it says, from the cold, hard world of customer feedback. And the big quote is, stick to oat milk, it says. And then they start explaining it. It says, we get it often. Why don't you just shut up about what you think and focus on your own products, et cetera, et cetera. And they continue and they say basically that if you think a company's just about making money and doing this stuff and maximizing value for your shareholders, you're missing the point. This is not what Oatly is. We're here to, we have a viewpoint. We want to share it. But I just thought it was funny because, like, I say that all the time. I say, like, just make the oat milk and just stop with all these crazy ads and these wacky things that make you feel weird things. Just stop doing that and just make good products because the products are good and the ice cream is good. Everything's good. And so I wondered, are there any chance that they saw our show and like that? Because I just didn't know that other people
directed to you.
I just didn't know if I thought that was kind of my viewpoint and that other people wouldn't necessarily have it or voice it. It's just not, I don't know. But so anyway, today when I was trying to find that blurb online rather than take a picture of it, which I eventually had to do, I found their original oat milk page, and then they've got FAQs on there. And at the bottom of the FAQs, which are all normal ones, the last one is, I hate Oatly, but I don't know how to put it in words. And you click on it, and then it says, you sound like the person our digital media specialist was referring to as the target demographic for this site. And they link to the fckoatly.com. And when we mention that, we got to mention that there's also the fckoatly.com, which is for people who hate that site. And then there's a nice form. You can submit a button and tell them that you really don't like them, which I did when I found that site. But all this is showing me the fact that they have that on this their standard oat milk page means this is not just our viewpoint. There must be a lot of people who have had this exact reaction that we have to Oatly stuff. And I'm just surprised with that. I just kind of thought it was us who hated it, especially me, who just hated it. But no, it's everybody, or it's a lot of people, obviously, and they've embraced that. And I don't know. I mean, I guess I was kind of happy to see that they put that little FAQ there. It made me think, man, there's like...
Yeah. I mean, you got to respect them for like leaning into it, right?
Yeah, in a way you do. I hated that fckoatly.com, which is why I went to the fckoatly.com. But yeah, in some way, you have to give them a little credit.
I had Oatly ice cream for the first time. We got some for Katie's birthday, and it was fantastic. And it just made me really want that soft serve. If I can find that anywhere, I'm gonna.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, they do a good job with ice cream for sure.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So there's Oatly for you. All right, and I think that's kind of it. That was I was going to tell you about that meal, and that meal turned out to be really good. It was one of those, like a classic tomato or whatever. I guess it would be a beef ragu. Like they put a little bit of that milk in there, and then it simmers all day long or a long time, and you get this very rich sauce. This wasn't that. This was a quick 15-minute simmer of the oat milk with the Beyond sausage, but it turned out very good. It was a great thing, and it's nice to have such good substitutes now. Because like 10 years ago, you just couldn't have made. I wouldn't. That's why I have looked at that recipe a lot of times, but never considered making it. Because I wouldn't do that with like the field roast or the tofurkey sausages. That just wouldn't be the same. But this is pretty good. So
nice.
I'm not a huge Beyond fan, but I do love those Beyond sausages.
Yeah. You have a little note here about a mayor race. I'm curious what that's about.
Oh yeah, I saw in Morning Brew this morning. An interesting thing that I wondered what you would think of this, Doug. Morning Brew joked and said the eyes of the country are on today's, is it mayoral primary in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And what's happening there, the interesting thing, the joke is that no one's really actually paying attention to it, but one of the 6 candidates, who is a librarian, Victor Miller, he built a customized ChatGPT bot called VIC. VIC stands for Virtual Integrated Citizen. And he has pledged that he will let this chatbot run the city government if he wins the race. He says more data-driven. It'll make more data-driven, unbiased decisions than any human would as the leader of Cheyenne. So that's happening tonight.
Wow.
You can go vote. Well, if you live there, you could go out and vote for AI governance. And I just wondered, Doug, if you felt like maybe your town council seat would be threatened by AI, just like your job is.
I mean, that would be pretty radical. That would be it'd be interesting to see. I gotta say, the new GPT for something, I've been playing around with it more and it's way better. So the AI just keep getting better. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like maybe in a couple of years we'd actually be better off. We let AI take over. That would be wild. That would be kind of a sad time in history, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess sad. I don't know. It's not like a ton of people lose their jobs if just mayors are replaced by.
Oh no, not about mayors. Just the fact that like computers can control us and set laws and rules for us better than we can.
Yeah, right. That would be interesting if we needed that. If they were better at governing people than people were. Yeah, I don't know. To me, that actually sounds like a type of job. I don't know anything about what a mayor does day to day, and how difficult those decisions are. But I kind of thought, I don't know, like. You got some time to take. It doesn't have to be done on the fly. Although that actually might be an advantage of what ChatGPT is good for, is quick versions of decisions. Whereas if you've got a lot of time, maybe the human can do better. But yeah, I don't know, weighing things and doing some basic analysis, statistics type of thing, but not having to do like crazy, like, I don't know, some of the applications people are imagining for ChatGPT is taking in 1 million inputs and not Chat, just AI in general. Taking 1 million inputs, stock market stuff, and immediately using that to predict where it goes next. And knowing what I know about like nonlinear statistics, it's just impossible. There's a major edges, obstacles to what can be done with those methods, and that's what AI uses. It's not using some miraculous crazy methods, using the known statistics methods just in an elegant way.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it's going to do almost a ton of the stuff people assume that it will one day, but I wondered if it could do this kind of job pretty well, like without bias and stuff like that. Just sort of, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, there'd be no nuance to it, right? And every town and community's needs are a little different, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. And it'd be not funny, I guess, but if there was some sort of like tragedy or major hurricane that came through or something like that, and you turn to the mayor to like look for words of comfort and and everything, and it's just like a form letter from ChatGPT. It'd be terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hope they could also simulate an image and a video, make up a thing that looks like a person. It looks like a robot, at least. I don't know. All right.
Steven's got a couple good puns here.
Steven?
New meaning of technocrat.
Yes. And then it says alderman with a capital I. I don't know what
AI-derman.
Oh, okay. AI-derman. Okay, because your town council seat used to be called an alderman position, right? A board of aldermen.
Yep.
Vegan Science says, I think the promise of AI is way overblown, and I agree with that. I think it's really great for some things, and it certainly already is replacing some jobs. But I think the promise, and I think in many ways the fears are way overblown for that reason. I just don't think it's not going to get superhuman intelligence, in my opinion. Anyway, Vegan Science also points out that for the Oatly full fat, they just add more oil to the oat blend, which I guess I should have figured that out. I don't think oats have much or any fat to begin with. So when they have a full fat version, they're just basically matching, I guess, the fat of whole milk by adding oil. But I was in the store looking quickly, did not have time to figure that out.
Cool.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, that is the chit chat small talk. That took a long time, Doug. We took 22 minutes to do all that.
I know, and we got a long weather report here too. I don't know. Do you want to save some of it?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we cut here. We could also just cut the debate topic.
Oh yeah.
We'll see, because we got stuff for tomorrow too. So like I told you, this is gonna be a good week, even though we've only got the 2 days. Let's go here. First up, come on, music. There we go. I skipped this one last week. A new study in the journal Frontiers in Nutrition has compared two different diet plans, the low-fat vegan diet and the classic, well-known, famous Mediterranean diet. And it found that when it comes to AGEs, advanced glycation end products, which you hear people talking about more and more these days, Best Life Online describes them as a pro-inflammatory dietary compound associated with oxidative stress, insulin resistance, and higher risk of heart disease. It turns out that the low-fat vegan diet beats the Mediterranean diet by a lot. People who followed the Mediterranean diet saw no reduction in the amount of AGEs in their system, whereas those who followed the low-fat vegan diet had a 73% reduction and lost an average of 13 pounds, while those who followed the Mediterranean diet saw no change. So that's a pretty big deal, considering that the Mediterranean diet is in many ways kind of still to me, like the gold standard diet that wins all the awards all the time still, and has for a while. The reason I skipped it is because it was done by PCRM, Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, who I'm not against their work at all. They're just a very pro-vegan organization. I know Vegan Stallion doesn't like when I discount a little bit the work of the organizations whose work I know is going to result in pro-vegan outcomes. It's just hard for me to take it really seriously. And I was thinking about how to defend this stance of mine. And I was thinking, like, there's that carnivore MD guy, right? He's not called that anymore. He's not even fully carnivore anymore. But if he started putting out research, like we on this vegan side would, each time it came out, we'd say, okay, yeah, he found a new pro-carnivore diet thing, but look who he is. Of course he's going to find that. So that's why it's just hard for me to like be really moved by work from organizations that are like, entirely vegan organizations doing science. So I don't know. What do you think, Doug?
You know what? I think it's great work, and I think it's important work. And what it hopefully will do is cause more studies by more people, and further exploration.
And that would be perfect if that happened, and it, and eventually you get people who I guess would tend to think are more unbiased, and then they do the research and they are able to replicate it. Then that's great. So that's a good point. That maybe is the role of these kind of organizations. All right, Vegan Science says false equivalency alert. So I guess if there was a carnivore group, the Physicians Committee for Carnivore Medicine, and they were doing research all the time, we'd eventually say, well, they're going to come up with pro-carnivore results because that's what they exist to do. And if they were to find the opposite, it would hurt their funding. It might hurt a lot of things. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it. But positive result for vegan diet, low-fat vegan diet anyway, versus Mediterranean. And it just got picked up this week by all the sources. And like I said, that was from Best Life Online, the place, that's like the most mainstream of mainstream nutrition stuff ends up there. And this got there within a week. So must be substantial for a lot of people. All right, up next. This is kind of a sad one and kind of a surprising one to me. Mr. Charlie's, the fast food franchise in California. They've got the Venice Beach storefront location, and now they've announced plans to expand in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. Well, they have closed that Venice Beach location. The whatever it's called, the little frowny face that is like mocking the McDonald's logo. It's written in, I think it's yellow on a red background. It looks like McDonald's branding. That has been scrubbed from the doors. Available for lease signs have been posted up, and now they're gone. I mean, this location is gone. So hopefully they're not done. I don't know. Do they have other locations that were operating yet, Doug, or had they just announced expansion?
San Francisco, I believe. Maybe Austin as well.
Yes, you're right. They have San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of surprising news because they've been talking about expansions for so long. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed to hear this.
Yeah, it is disappointing. I will admit, and by the way, I'm not proud of this admission because I read it later on. It says the chain is community driven on account of employing people who need a second chance but have been overlooked by a broken system. So, great place. Give opportunities to those transitioning from homelessness, incarceration, or addiction. So that's wonderful. They're promoting a plant-based diet. But when a company whose whole brand is built on this sort of little irreverent attitude, edginess, like their stuff's called the I don't know, well, they're actually not too crazy names. I'm thinking of Oatly really here. When a company's whole thing, their Instagram post said Venice Beach just got weirder. That was their that was their announcement that said, hey, we're here, deal with it kind of thing. Right? And then they go away and it's just I guess it's one of the challenges of having that brand where you're in your face, kind of hey, look at us. We're too cool and you can't stop. And then it's gone. It's just not a good look.
I mean, they've tied themselves to McDonald's, right? And but with the branding and that kind of feels like one of those ideas that you're sitting around drinking some beers with your guys and you're like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made a vegan spot that branded it?
Yeah,
kind of
McDonald's,
troll McDonald's. And then you open one up in Venice and it's kind of it gets a bunch of attention and it's a hit and that's cool. But it's hard to imagine a major franchise that's built around trolling McDonald's, right?
Right. It is.
But I mean, I don't know. Like Steven says here, it sounds fun, and I bet it's good. And
I'd love to have this near us and try it. I hope no one interprets that as I'm happy that this place closed because I'm not. It was just my first reaction was haha, the in your face thing, and now it didn't.
Well, there are 3 locations, so I guess 2 now that Venice is closed, but San Francisco and Sydney, Australia.
There you go. And Singapore and New Zealand are in the works. So hopefully this is just a one-off thing. I don't know why it wouldn't work in Venice Beach, though, of all places. That seems like a good fit.
Prices.
Maybe that's why. But it's cheap. It's $1 burgers, I think.
I'm talking about
Oh, you said crisis?
I said prices as in rent basically.
Yeah, right, that's true.
Okay, so they still have another one in LA. The one from Venice Beach has been scrubbed from their website. Or not scrubbed. Removed from the locations. Okay. I don't mean to imply any sort of anything. But they still have an LA on North La Brea Avenue,
which you made an effort to go to when you were in LA because you wanted to support the vegan spot that is doing all these good things for.
No, I made an effort to go to the one in Venice Beach, and
you did an effort? Okay.
Yeah, it was a block away. We were at Venice Beach. I was a block away, and I was rallying everybody to go, and it was Sunday morning. They were closed,
so that was the problem. They didn't have enough hours open.
There you go.
All right, moving on. More kind of bad news, I guess. Tesco, UK supermarket, has recalled the quote melt in the middle meat-free burgers that they sell. The brand is Tesco Plant Chef 2 meat-free burgers with melting middle. That's quite a long product name. The middle was mustard and gherkins, which are those little pickle things. Which is just a weird product to me. Like, we talk about this a lot, but just let people put that stuff on the burger. We don't need it in. And in this case, we really don't, because people said the center was like lava when they would cook this burger. That middle would, for whatever reason, maintain very, very hot temperature. And someone else said eating the middle is like eating the sun. So it's very hot. Anyway, that's been recalled, and if you got one, be careful with that middle. Molten lava, no good. All right, last bit of weather report item I have here is that, Doug, a product you were particularly excited about, the 2D printed oat milk sheets.
Yes.
Or discs, I guess they're calling them, produced by Vegans, Veganz. It's now not just in, like, I thought we were thinking this was like a barista product that was meant for restaurants and things like that, wholesale, but it turns out it's in organic food stores in Germany after being revealed last summer. A year later, it's already in stores. So now, consumers are using this stuff. Vegan says it saves 94% packaging waste and 85% weight compared to the products in the milk cartons. And I saw a picture of it. It's like very brown color milk that comes out of it. But then I poured myself that. I didn't use up all my full fat Oatly today. I poured some of that in my grape nuts, and it was pretty brown too. So I thought, I guess oat milk is not as white as I imagined that it was.
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. I'm going to pull it up.
Like coloring. That's like an obstacle. I think that people would be turned off by that.
So it's these sheets here. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, I meant to put a link to the article today. I forgot to do that.
Oh man, they got a lot of Vegans has a lot of products.
I've heard the name before. I was assuming it was just that, but maybe not. And we should remind people that there was the chicken yesterday. I'm putting the link, Doug, in the message. You could, or in the chat.
Look at that poor lady with all the oat milk, trying to get it all home. All you need is a little sheet.
So much at once. Why did this blender? Is that required to get the
I don't know. I hope not.
That'd be a bummer if you needed a special blender. Anyway, I think it was 2 weeks ago we talked about this company that has put out the powdered plant-based chicken. Now you can rehydrate that, put some seasonings or whatever, and then you can shape that into plant-based chicken patties and do something with it. So a lot of powdered food coming to the plant-based world.
We may have talked about this. Can't remember. Not a sponsor here, but Plant Strong does these powdered veggie burgers, or like veggie burger mix. Like
that's right. You mentioned that. Yep.
And they are so good, man. They are just like really good. Yeah.
Well, how do you make it? What do you put?
You add water and then form it into a little patty and bake it, or pan fry it.
And it's good, huh?
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Would you do all powdered food for a whole year challenge?
For a whole year?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not? I'll do that in my 97 ingredient smoothie.
Yeah, that'd be good content for our show.
Steven says Vegans was originally a vegan supermarket chain in Germany. They closed the stores but kept making products. And Vegan Stallion says, I want oat milk discs for traveling. And that's exactly what I was saying, is you could just like carry a little oat milk sheet anywhere you go, drop it in your coffee.
Right. It would be fantastic for that. Like, I mean, I guess regular milk has done that. They've done powdered milk, right? So it's just not disc shape, but yeah, I mean, how convenient is that if you could just bring oat milk discs around? And plant-based chicken patties too, whatever else.
Why not? Yeah.
All right. Anyway, there you go. That's the weather report for the day. So let's jump into our main thing. We won't be too long here. We're trying to keep these shows a little shorter. The headline from Newsweek. And by the way, we have some more substantive things for tomorrow, but I didn't want to try to cram them into today. These Tuesday shows recently have been busy with all the goings on and things over the weekend. But anyway, the headline from Newsweek, and I don't know why Newsweek is publishing this kind of content now. What happened? The headline is, man, quote, cheating on religious wife's vegetarian diet backed online. And so what they're reporting here is that he was given a lot of support by the Reddit community. These things always come from Reddit. Here's the story, and then we'll weigh in on what we think. Who's right? I don't know if this is the AITA. Am I the asshole? Am I the a-hole thing from Reddit? They didn't mention that. I don't know. But what happened is his wife literally went vegetarian for religious reasons, converted to a new religion 12 months ago, 35-year-old wife of a 38-year-old man. And that included giving up meat. That was part of the religion. Initially, the family with 2 young boys supported the decision and held a vegetarian-only dinner to show solidarity. So they figured, all right, we'll have a nice dinner for her. We'll honor this. We'll show her that we support her, and then we'll go back to eating how we normally eat. But that only lasted for 8 months, and then tensions rose. She began to impose her lifestyle on the rest of the family. And along with them not eating the meat, she also wanted no longer to be around it. So she didn't want to be seeing this. So they started replacing pork with jackfruit, eggs with plant-based alternatives, even ensuring only clean brands for clothing and personal hygiene products. And the man says this was creating a rift, and that's an understatement. It was creating a rift in the family. So what happened, the woman went out of town for a little while, a couple of days, I think a weekend. And he said, first of all, the guy pointed out that he's not the type to do this. Like, this is not his thing. And for whatever reason, I kind of believe, at least that line. He said, I want to start by saying I love my family and wife. I've never been the type to do anything like this before. So if you say that, I don't know, it builds a little trust with me. I think, okay, this is a reasonable person. And then, so anyway, he said, I'm ashamed to type this out, but the boys and I mostly ate meat while she was gone. Basically every chance we got. They just went out and had this dietary rebellion. And then she came home deeply disappointed. So I guess they just told her about it, came clean. And he said, I've never seen her so disappointed in us. We argued for hours. And I don't think there's any more to the story. I think that's it. I think she was just very upset and disappointed. It doesn't sound like, relationship's over or something like that, or family's broken up. But I'm sure they're having some hard conversations about what to do next. And if they have a doghouse, he's probably sleeping in it, would be my guess.
At least on the couch. Yeah, I mean, I imagine this happens a lot where, not a lot, but where, someone, I mean, so when you add the religious side of it, like that's a different thing. But like, let's take the religion out of it. Like, let's say somebody went to plant stock, got converted into believing in a whole food, no oil diet was the way to go. And then you come home and you're real excited about it. And you just want everybody to eat that way because you feel like that's how we're all going to live longer and you're going to take care of ourselves. And it's probably really hard to, when your family doesn't want to do that, and they can be somewhat supportive, but if you have such convictions and then add the religious element to it too, that's hard. The problem is, it's one thing if you eat a certain way, you follow a certain religion, follow a certain set of morals, when you meet somebody, right? And when you start dating, and like that's
right,
who you are and who you marry, and whatever. It's another thing to like have a major, huge shift in your beliefs, and then expect everybody to just kind of go along with it.
Right. Right.
That's hard.
Yeah, right. I mean, she went vegetarian. And that's like something that we are sympathetic to. So, but imagine it was anything else. Even if it was just a religion thing, because I don't think there's that big a difference whether this is religious, motivated or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like it's not that different from someone becoming really ethically motivated to not eat animals anymore, and not wanting to see their loved ones eat animals because of the harm that it does to animals. I don't know, like I can imagine that, and it's sort of similar to religious vibes. I don't know, like it's, yeah, and as they say in the article, it's one thing to change and expect people to support you. But it's another to ask everyone to start doing it. And then not just ask that, but kind of, it sounds like essentially they created a rift. So it wasn't just that she asked and then they willingly, happily went along with it. It was like a problem that they kept having to deal with. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's hard, right? Like once you have kids with somebody, like if you change in a way that your partner doesn't want you to change, and it ends up being this thing where you just can't reconcile this and say that's too different from how I want to live, and we're not going to be able to, that's fine. But now there's kids involved who would be harmed in this, or you got to pick one side or the other for them. So like that's a really challenging thing. So I do understand how challenging this could be, but I don't know. I mean, who knows who's right and wrong with these things? Obviously, that's I don't know. I don't know if that's the way. I mean, you probably shouldn't just wait till the person leaves and then go on a binge. That's a little weird. But that was obviously pent up frustration coming out. So I think it should have been communication happening before this.
Yeah.
On the part of the man and the sons saying this is just isn't going to work for us. But yeah, I mean, and who knows where that would have led or will lead now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Armchair marriage counselor Matt Frazier. I
mean, there aren't a lot of layers to this. It's a pretty basic thing.
Yeah.
Someone completely changing their values and then expecting everyone else is going to go with them. And this is going to be hard, no matter what.
Absolutely.
But it was not dealt with in the perfect way here.
No.
And if it were, it wouldn't be a story on the internet. We wouldn't be talking about it.
That's right.
We just communicated and came to a compromise.
All
right. Good. I think that's it. Stephen thought from the headline that he was unfaithful to her with a meat eater. Because I said man and sons cheat on wife's vegetarian diet. This one said man cheating on religious wife's vegetarian diet. Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting.
That'd be the premise of a TV show right there, I think.
Yeah, that could be good. All right. Well, that's it. We're done. Like I said, good stuff tomorrow. Last show of the week, but we'll make it worth it. We got some good things in there. I won't even tease what they are. Don't get too excited. They're normal stories, but they'll be the good discussions. Anything else, Doug, before we sign off for the day?
No, I think that's it. Welcome, Dale Stevens. She came in late. Thanks for coming.
Right. Good to have you, Dale.
That's right. Good to see Anne-Marie back.
Yeah, it is good to see Anne-Marie back.
Yeah, if you haven't liked the show yet, please like the show. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Apple iTunes. We don't ask that very much. We need to keep the momentum going.
That's right. Like, subscribe, share, smash. Join the Discord group. Don't forget that. NoMadeAthlete.com/Discord. And you can join the extra chat where people like Nurse Otto are contributing things, according to you, Doug. Did I say Lady Draws-A-Lot? I think I may have skipped Lady Draws-A-Lot's name. Oh, she came in after D Wants to Know Adventure Coach. Okay. And then Allie came in. Some others came too. But if you're not here in the very beginning, you don't necessarily get your name said.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.
Yes. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you later.